The clinking of dishes, the faint smell of fried bacon, and the tired hum of conversation filled the little roadside diner on the edge of town. It was the kind of place where truckers stopped for coffee, families stopped on long drives, and locals came to escape the monotony of their lives. But on this particular night, everything would change. Emily, a young waitress with tired eyes and an even more tired heart, had been working double shifts for weeks. Her father's medical bills were piling up, and her younger brother's tuition was overdue. At only 23, Emily carried the weight of her entire family on her shoulders. She smiled through her exhaustion, not because she wanted to, but because she had no choice. It was late evening when the sound of roaring engines shook the diner's windows. Heads turned. Conversations hushed. A group of 6 bikers pulled up, their leather jackets glinting under the neon lights. The word bikers immediately sent whispers rippling through the customers. People judged them before they even stepped inside. And when they did, big boots, tattoos, long beards, they carried an intimidating presence. The manager, Mr. Wilkins, stiffened behind the counter. He leaned toward Emily and whispered sharply, "Don't serve them. We don't need their kind here." Emily froze. She knew what he meant. Stereotypes, prejudice, fear. But then one of the bikers caught her eye, a man in his late 40s with tired, kind eyes hidden behind a rough exterior. He gave her a small nod and asked in a surprisingly gentle voice, "Mom, can we get a table?" Emily hesitated. She thought about the bills stacked on her nightstand at home, about her father's hospital calls, about her little brother's hopeful eyes when he talked about school. And she thought about fairness. Was it really right to turn these men away just because of how they looked? So with quiet courage, Emily smiled and said, "Of course, right this way." She guided them to a booth, handed them menus, and poured coffee with the same kindness she gave to anyone else. The bikers, contrary to everyone's fearful assumptions, were polite. They said please and thank you. They laughed quietly among themselves, not disturbing anyone. But Mr. Wilkins was watching, his face twisted with anger. By the end of her shift, as Emily handed the bikers their check, one of them said softly, "Thank you, miss. Not many people treat us like human beings. You've got a good heart." He left a tip so generous that Emily's hands shook when she counted it. Yet before she could even tuck it into her apron, Mr. Wilkins stormed over. "You're fired," he spat coldly. "I told you not to serve them. You disobeyed me. Pack your things." The diner went silent. Every eye turned to Emily, her tray slipping from her hand. Fired, just like that, for showing kindness. Tears welled in her eyes as she grabbed her purse and walked out into the night, her future suddenly darker than ever. The next day, Emily woke up with the weight of despair pressing on her chest. Her father's medicine needed to be refilled. Her brother was expecting to register for classes, and now, no job, no income, no hope. She thought about giving up. But then, something strange happened. Around noon, as she sat on the porch of her tiny apartment, the sound of motorcycles filled the street. Her heart skipped. The same bikers from the diner pulled up, parking right in front of her home. Emily stood nervous, uncertain, but the leader stepped forward holding out a folded newspaper. "Have you seen this?" he asked. Confused, Emily unfolded the paper, and there it was. A photo of her from last night, taken secretly by a customer in the diner, had gone viral on social media. The headline read, "Waitress fired for serving bikers, community in uproar." The story spread like wildfire. Thousands of comments flooded in online. People outraged that she had been punished for showing simple human kindness. Emily's jaw dropped. She had no idea any of this had happened. "We don't usually get treated with respect," the biker leader said softly. "But you did, and now the world knows about it. You gave us dignity, and now we're here to return the favor." The bikers pooled together money and handed her an envelope thick with cash. "For your dad's medicine, for your brother's school, whatever you need." Emily's eyes filled with tears, her hands trembling as she accepted the envelope. But it didn't stop there. Later that afternoon, strangers began showing up, neighbors, old customers from the diner, even people from nearby towns. They brought food, offered her work, and promised to stand by her. Within days, Emily wasn't just another waitress anymore. She became a symbol of kindness in the face of prejudice. Her story was shared on TV, on blogs, on news channels. Donations poured in. Job offers came from restaurants that wanted someone with her heart and courage, and the diner that had fired her. Business plummeted. Customers boycotted. Mr. Wilkins eventually had to close the doors for good. Due to the challenges she faced, it wasn't easy. Emily still struggled with the guilt of being jobless that night, the fear of not being enough for her family, and the judgmental whispers of those who thought she had been foolish. But she pressed forward, driven by love for her father and brother. And she learned something powerful sometimes. Doing the right thing means standing alone for a little while, until others gather the courage to stand with you. The inspiring message: Emily's life changed forever, not because of money or fame, but because she chose compassion over fear. One small act of kindness created a ripple so big it moved an entire community. So next time you see someone judged unfairly, or treated less than human because of how they look, remember Emily. Remember the bikers, and remember this: kindness is never wasted. It always comes back, often in ways you could never imagine.